O'Neill meets Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Manam Islanders raise funds to assist with relief efforts. And the launch of a sports exhibition promoting various sports.
This is National EMTV News with Tokana Hasavi.
A very good evening and welcome. This is Saturday's news. It's good to have your company again. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill and several other cabinet ministers are in India for this week for the second forum of the India-Pacific Cooperation Summit. The summit is being attended by heads of 14 Pacific Island countries. The visiting delegations from the various Pacific Island countries were welcomed in the capital New Delhi last night at an Indian cultural welcome. And also on that same note, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill had a one-on-one meet with India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi in India's Jaipur district last night. The meet took place as part of the second forum of the India-Pacific Islands Cooperation Summit 2015. The FIPIC Summit is an initiative of the Government of India and is the second of its kind. Prime Minister Modi also met with Prime Ministers and heads of state of 14 other Pacific Island countries. In an exclusive interview with EMTV, Prime Minister O'Neill said the summit was to establish what sort of partnerships can be forged between India and the Pacific Island countries, particularly in the areas of trade and investment and exchange of technology. Following a visit to the World Heritage listed Taj Mahal in the Indian state of Agra and a briefing from India's tourism industry, Mr. O'Neill said while India and PNG are different in population and in landmass, the two countries share common attributes important for developing a strong tourism industry. Relief efforts for Manam Island need better coordination. This is from a group of Manam Islanders living in Port Moresby who are raising funds to assist with relief efforts on the island. The group says they are doing their bit in raising funds for relief supplies while also planning other activities to urge the government to pass the Manam Restoration Authority bill so that their people can be permanently resettled.
This gathering is part of a 4-week marathon that the people of Baliao living in Port Moresby have organized for their relatives on the island. So far they've raised around 4,000 kina. They say they feel the need to do this because to them the government's response has taken too long and the impact has been very little.
So this is a report ni blog lokim. Emlo albi mol or papa mama blog mol brother susa or bubu ane mol sabla island. Emipla because everybody else has failed us. The government member blog employed even Medang provincial government failed.
Out of all the villages on Manam Island that are now living in care centers in Bogia, the people of Baliao village have all returned to the island following tribal conflict with their host community. In terms of numbers, the recent eruption on the island has affected them more than the others. However, they say this fundraising initiative is for all of the people who are now living on the island.
There is a concern by the local leaders that agencies, NGOs, maybe donor agencies are going on to Manam Island, doing assessments without proper coordination. And so I think relief efforts going in may also be uncoordinated.
Supporting this cause are students from the University of Papua New Guinea. Medang Students Association president says they are planning on submitting a petition to the government to urge them to pass the bill on MRA in the October sitting of Parliament.
It's like an issue we like to say, Manam can resettle, government can look at even finding more side education, health, good plus something.
Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
With the country facing a possible extension of disaster for the next 10 months, substantial relief funding will be released. However, National Disaster Centre Acting Director Martin Mose says accountability of these funds is crucial. Funds for affected provinces will be strictly monitored following reports of abuse and misuse earlier this year.
That is why it's very important that our team goes and work, because after, at the end of the day, it's going to be the taxpayers' money going down. We want to see that those monies are spent wisely and not overspent with something which is not, it's not justified.
There are calls for the government to divert some of the funds earmarked for the 40th independence celebrations to assist disaster-affected areas. The calls were made this week by Father Victor Roach from the Catholic Church and opposition leader Don Pollier.
Pollier's comments come after the Catholic Bishops' Conference of PNG and Solomon Islands call for the state to respect and protect human rights and address its needs.
No, I would still suggest the government to say, okay, a certain percentage of our celebrations would go to help these people, and that will be just.
In a media statement, the opposition leader said funds earmarked for the independence celebration should be diverted for relief assistance. 25 million can a large sum of money and can save many lives in areas affected by the dry spell. Pollier reiterated his call for the national government to defer this year's independence celebrations and divert funds into assisting drought victims. Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
Among more stories coming up after the break, Gulf Governor Havila Kavo acquitted and today's Cultural Day celebrations at the Divine Word University. Stay tuned for that. Good to have you back with the news. Gulf Governor Havila Kavo has been cleared of charges laid against him. Kavo's conviction was quashed by the Supreme Court yesterday after his convictions were ruled as unlawful.
The Gulf Governor was all in smiles when he declared himself a free man.
It's not time for us to petty politics, because I believe it has already hit and put the province backwards a little bit. But I believe we still have 2 more years to work together.
Kavo says it's a relief to him and his family, but most importantly to the Gulf province. Principal lawyer Simon Ketan said the Supreme Court decision was passed after Kavo's convictions were ruled to be unlawful.
It's quashed the consequential sentence, and it has acquitted the exercising its powers under Section 23 of the Supreme Court in replacing the National Court's decision, the conviction, with a verdict of not guilty.
Kavo said with him being cleared of all charges put against him, he will focus now on his job as the governor for Gulf Province. He also called on the other open members in the province to put aside their differences and work together. Stanley Ovett Jr., National EMTV News.
The Divine Word University has again celebrated its Cultural Day today in the Madang province. There were minor incidents that were alcohol-related, but the presence of police and DY Rangers kept the situation under control. EMTV's Rachel Chise reports from Madang.
The show started very late, almost at around midday, but when the dancers entered the showground with the variety of radiant colors and the different unique kundu beats from their respective provinces, the feel came alive. The host province's students group opened the show with dances from the volcanic Manam Island, followed by the Oro province dancers, the East Pacific dancers, and many others.
Around 18 provinces will take part in this event. Unfortunately, we don't have much of the Highlands region because it's due to costs and also expensive costumes for hire and transport also.
Despite the very late turn-up of cultural groups, the unique dances and performances by all the different provinces kept the crowd on their feet despite the sun's heat. Rachel Chise, National EMTV News, Madang.
The Divine Word University Port Moresby alumni have acknowledged the current leadership of the university, President Father John Shauba. His leadership was highly commended for the university's growth and development since 1996 when he was appointed as president. The Divine Word missionaries, university staff and stakeholders were also acknowledged for their contribution to education.
Divine Word University Port Moresby alumni today commemorated the 19th Foundation Day. It began with the Holy Eucharistic celebration at Don Bosco Technological Institute, animated by Divine Word missionaries Fathers George Raifa and Victor Roach. The Thanksgiving celebration represents the university's development from a Catholic co-educational high school to an institute, then to a university. That was recognized by the PNG government as a university in the development of higher education by the National Executive Council on NEC Act 134 of 1996. Port Moresby Campus Administrator Karen Tito thanked the Vanuatu missionaries and stakeholders for their contribution towards education development.
Parable on the seed, like for those 19 years, it's been a long, hard journey, and it took patience, it took trials, pruning in terms of changes, transitions, or administration, and for the students we had to come in and we had to adjust.
Alumni members also shared their experiences on values and ethical principles that have shaped students. It's expected the event will be bigger and better in the coming years. Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
A temporary ban has been enforced by the autonomous Bougainville government on the registration of new businesses in Bougainville. Bougainville President Chief John Momis enforced this ban following the recent outbreak of violence in Buka town where locals attacked and ransacked a business house. Momis, while condemning the attack, has issued a stern warning to all Bougainvillians that law and order will be enforced across the autonomous region. Innovative banking that suits the needs of the community. That's the objective of Westpac Bank that is rolling out its in-store banking facilities. This morning, an urban village near the nation's capital was the latest community to welcome this facility.
Vabukori village is located just outside of Port Moresby city. Like many urban villages around the country, this Motukoitabu village is now home to more than the traditional inhabitants. While some of them have formal employment, others are involved in small to medium businesses or just small trading activities as a form of income. Ludi is one of them. Originally from Karkar Island, she is now married to a Kerema man and lives here in Vabukori. She is happy about the fact that there is a banking facility now in their village.
Right, also mem kam shortcut him leg blow me plan. Instead of me plug go sana plong plan line and maski.
The idea of in-store banking is to make banking services accessible to people like Ludi and to encourage and promote the culture of savings. The facility enables them to do basic banking transactions.
Like deposits, withdrawals, transfer to another person's account, and even do your bill payments. You can check your balance and get your mini statements, of course.
According to Wayalaka, there are over 100 of these facilities all over the country. Westpac partners with small-time businesses such as Nade Trading in Vabukori, who facilitate the transactions between the bank and the community. Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
And we have True Guy Sports. That's coming up next. Details when we come back. Stay with us.
True Guy Sports.
Welcome to True Guy Sports. An exhibition to promote various sporting codes in the country will be held from November 26 to the 28th. The PNG Sports Foundation is taking this lead, organizing this event as a platform to develop sports.
Sports Minister Justin Tichanko officially launched the exhibition and announced the government's continuous support to sports development.
Over 40 million kina given to the PNG Olympic Committee over the last 2 years to ensure that our athletes are taken to the next level has proven that it's money well spent.
The sports exhibition, first of its kind in PNG, is an initiative by the PNG Sports Foundation. It's now fitting to have a sport exhibition that showcases different opportunities available through sports.
The initiative of the Expo will allow a lot of our people, and I think a lot of our NFs, get a lot more appreciation of what is involved in actually maintaining and sustaining facilities.
Key partners, including PNG Olympic Committee, form 40 registered national federations.
The Games has inspired the nation and mainly the younger generation. And I think it's important that we and all our national federations, we must harness that interest and the enthusiasm.
Rapila also stated that sport can be used to maximize the opportunities to exhibit and market different sports. The sports exhibition will be held from November 26 to 28 with different sporting codes, organizations and institutions promoting themselves and the sporting codes. Shane Soroya, National, EMTV Sports.
In the Oceania Rugby Cup, a ruthless performance by American Samoa over Pacific Minnows, the Solomon Islands, in the opening match in Port Moresby today. 4 unanswered tries over 2 halves saw American Samoa claim their first win, 30 points to 15.
Afa Tuile Tufuga, American Samoa's captain, had an early opportunity to score but missed from point-blank range as the Solomon Islands relied on a good set piece and their size. Their forward pack working well and being rewarded as well with a try. Their conversion successful, and after 10 minutes Solomon Islands were 7 up. A short series of handling errors and the Solomon Islands had another opportunity which they failed to use. Deja vu for American Samoa, scoring from a penalty goal from the same side of the field to narrow the score 18 minutes in, and Solomon Islands were leading with 7 points to American Samoa 3. American Samoa would take the lead close to half-time, with 2 tries back-to-back as the Solomon Islands defense began to crumble, 20 points to 7 by half-time. And the second half began much the same way as the first ended, American Samoa maintaining momentum, securing 2 tries to extend their lead even further. Solomon Islands would eventually score on the stroke of full-time, but by then the damage had already been done. Skola Sengi, National, EMTV Sports.
The PNG Pukpuks have defeated Tahiti by 32 points to 10 at the Sir Hubert Murray Stadium this afternoon. It was a strong defensive performance by the home side with a double to Jackie Marcus, James Lumaris and Derek Paraka. Nigel Kenya, however, missed a number of conversions.
A wonderful performance by the home side. The PNG Pukpuks has seen them take a 32-10 victory over a Tahitian side that was brimming with French talent. 2 tries to Jackie Marcus and 1 each to James Lumaris and Derek Paraka has shown that the Pukpuks are capable of delivering brilliant rugby. Brothers Tisa and Jonah Kautu set in James Lumaris as well. And while there were moments when the Tahitians looked to score, it was Papua New Guinea who were able to hold off. An outstanding performance all across the board as Butler Morris made a break through the Tahitian defense to set up an inside pass for Jackie Marcus to get his second in the tournament. Pukpuks will now have 4 days of rest before they take on American Samoa at 3 p.m. on Wednesday afternoon over here at the Sir Hubert Murray Stadium. Jeremy Moggy, National TV Sports.
True Kai Sports ends on that note. The weather details, that's coming up next after this break.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
Taking a quick look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in southern region, fine although cloudy at times, expected in the nation's capital and Kerema. In Mamase, becoming cloudy with chances of a few showers in Madang, Wewak and Bunnymoor. In the New Guinea Islands, few showers at times expected in Lorengau. And lastly, in Islands regional centres to look forward to cloudy weather plus morning fog. Well, that's the way it is this Saturday, the 22nd of August, 2015. From the news team, I'm Tokana Hasavi. You take care and stay happy. Good night.